We have finished 6th grade Easy Grammar. How was it? What did we like? What didn't we like? Let's talk all about it today. So the Easy Grammar system, we switched to it in 6th grade. Before that, up through the middle of 5th grade, my daughter had been using Abeka, and then we floundered a little bit for that second semester of 5th grade. We did IEW, and if you want our opinion on that, I will link that video down below. But then in 6th grade, we switched to Easy Grammar, and I'm so glad we did. However, with this review, keep in mind the background where my daughter did Abeka up through the middle of 5th grade, because I really give Abeka a lot of credit for that foundation. So she really needed that foundation. And if you're interested in knowing why we switched in the first place from Abeka, I will leave that video down below as well. But today we're talking all about Easy Grammar. The Easy Grammar system for grade 6 comes with the student workbook and the teacher's guide. You also have Daily Grams and the Daily Grams Teacher's Edition. And then you have your test booklet. So a few things to note with Easy Grammar are the Daily Grams. This is my daughter's favorite part by far of the entire system. Within each day of the Daily Grams, you can see there are numbers, so it's numbered day 1 through 180. You will have capitalization, punctuation, and then you're going to have something else. So this one is parts of speech. This one's prefix, roots, and suffixes. Then down here you have more parts of speech, analogies, and then this one's simple, compound, complex sentences, and then you always have the sentence combining. Now for the teacher's manual, the beginning of the teacher's manual are the actual Daily Grams. So you can see this. If you need to, you could make copies of this, or the answers are actually in the back of the book. So these are the answers for the Daily Grams, and you can see that you'll see AMV a lot. This means answers may vary. So they're just giving you an example for what the answer should be, but it could be a lot of different things. So answers may vary is what this AMV means, that you can see a lot. Now I did like having these pages in the answer key, because there were times where my daughter was, she got one of these wrong. We would be able to review it right there on the spot, and I could just turn to whatever day it was and then go over that part of the Daily Grams. There are times that these Daily Grams give a very short instruction, but this is not a true lesson. This is just a reminder or a little bit of instruction for whatever the student is going to do with the next section. She loves these Daily Grams. She loves the short snippets, the very quick review, all of it. Daily Grams are her favorite. When we were talking about what to do next year, Daily Grams had to make the list. So we will be continuing with the Easy Grammar system. We're still working on exactly all of the details, and I will be coming out with our 7th grade curriculum picks, so make sure you are subscribed to get those. But these Daily Grams are just something that she really enjoys. Let's talk about the Easy Grammar workbook. This is huge. There are so many pages in it. So please keep in mind that when you are using Easy Grammar, you can't just do 1 page a day for the 6th grade system. You will be doing 6th grade Easy Grammar for at least 2 years if you do that, maybe longer. So let's look at the Teacher's Edition first. So within the Teacher's Edition, you can look at our scope and sequence. You'll see that you're going to be talking about prepositions, verbs, interjections, conjunctions, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, sentence types, friendly letter, sentence fragments and run-ons, pronouns, capitalization, punctuation, important words, writing sentences. Now, the teacher's guide also has some of the Daily Grams for a sample. If you don't get the Daily Grams, you can see that there are 6 sample lessons. You also receive your assessment answers. So that would be from something that you'll see in your test booklet, which we'll get to in just a moment. You can see the correlation of text and workbook pages. So let's look at page 709. So on page 709, this shows you that for each of the pages, so like for workbook page 1 within the student manual, you'll have teacher page 2, etc. But the other thing that this teacher's guide will show you is that when you have workbook pages, it will say that this is workbook page 282. So this is on here as well. I really didn't use this portion at all because I could see it up here. But that brings a good point. Within this teacher's manual, this spread is what your student will see. It does not have the answers. And then this is what you will see. So as you can see, this is an extremely thick book. You have basically 2 of each page of the worksheets. You have what your student sees and then the answers. So if you wanted to make copies, you could, but obviously you don't have to because those workbook pages are in here. So you can also see within the teacher's manual, you do have this teaching portion, which this is also included in the student manual. So you can see here is your student manual, and it is the same teaching portion as what you would see in the teacher's manual. There's also located within the teacher's manual, you'll have some times where it's just notes for the teachers. Now this is not included in the student's manual. These just say for the teacher, and then it will get into the worksheets. At the end of each of the concepts, you will see that there is a pretty decent review of that concept in the student manual. There is additionally a cumulative review, and this cumulative review is truly cumulative. You are going to have quite a bit of spiral. Then in your test booklet, you will have a test for that chapter, and your answers are in your teacher's manual. One of our major pros with the Easy Grammar system is the way that it's taught, the whole philosophy behind it, with the fact that you are looking for prepositional phrases, and then once you can recognize those prepositional phrases, it is so much easier to recognize the other parts of speech. So we really liked that with regards to Easy Grammar. That was definitely a pro. Now, as far as the teacher's manual goes, one of the things that I really did like about it is the simple, short, easy lessons that they provide for the new concepts. So you can see, like for sentence types, it just tells you the 4 different types of sentences, and then you go into the worksheets. So there's not a lot of instruction. In 6th grade, where my daughter is, there was plenty of instruction for these basic concepts that she had already been exposed to. So it was nice to not truly drag out the day with a lot of information because she had already been exposed to this. The worksheets were relatively easy. The only thing that I really didn't like about these worksheets is once you started a concept, there truly was no spiral on a concept until you were at the end of the chapter for this cumulative review. And then on the cumulative review is where the spiral came in. It would have been nice, I think, to have a little bit more spiral within these worksheets, but there was plenty of spiral in the daily grams. So if your child is someone who needs to have more consistent spiral versus just at the end of chapters, then the daily grams are definitely something that you want to pick up. Another pro is the spiral approach. The way these daily grams approach spiraling through the different concepts each day, I loved it. I loved that we were able to touch on so many concepts each day in a very unthreatening way. Because at the age my daughter is, she has been exposed to most of these grammar concepts before, so she feels like she should know them. When she doesn't get it exactly right, then there could be some issues, but there weren't, because the way that the daily grams set it up. It was not threatening. It was not something that we had to do an entire lesson on with regards to those daily grams. We were just able to discuss, hey, hey, remember this. Remember when you use the linking verbs. Remember when you underline something versus put it in quotation marks. So those types of things are great that we were able to do that in a very non-threatening way to be able to discuss it with the daily grams. So we really like that. As far as the tests go, I love the fact that there is a pre-test and a post-assessment test. So one of the first things that you're going to do is do the pre-test with your students. And then the end of the year assessment is the same test. And I like that because then you can compare them and look at how much you grew that year, how much you retained. And I really liked that. So the pre and post test was definitely a plus for us. It was definitely something that we enjoyed, and I'm thankful for it. I'm also thankful for the cumulative review. Now, these cumulative reviews did get a little long, and so we didn't always do them if we didn't need to. And that was another thing that I liked about it. But the cumulative reviews are extremely beneficial, and I'm thankful for those cumulative reviews that are included in both your workbook as well as your test book. Now let's review what we considered to be some of the cons. Con number one is, even though this teacher's guide is this thick, there is no true lesson plans. So there is nothing that says, hey, for day one, do pages 1 through 5 or anything like that. So you have to figure out what is best for your student with regards to how many pages to do per day. Because like I said, if you only do 1 page a day, you're doing this for a long time. So it was a con for me, just because taking that extra time to truly go through and figure out how many pages need to be done each day. It was nice. It would have been nice to have that lesson plan, to know that if I followed a certain lesson plan, I would be finished in the 180 days. But that was definitely not a deal breaker for us. Con number two is I purchased the daily grams for the student manual as well as the teacher's manual. In the future, I would not have done this. So that was money that I didn't feel as though I needed to spend. This teacher's manual is truly the daily grams, and then you have the answers in the back of the book. So this would be like what you would see in many workbooks. Now, the answers are not perforated to where you can pull them out, but I don't really need that. I would have rather saved the money and not even purchased this, because we could have used just this teacher's manual daily grams as our only book for daily grams. But that's okay. It worked out fine. I did not like having this spread. I thought that it made the book way too bulky compared to what it needed to be. Since the answers are right here, I didn't need to really look at this page, because the answers are on the exact page. So it would not have been that difficult to figure out what the answers were for this without seeing the individual page. It just made the book extremely bulky, and I didn't think that it added that much to it. One other strategy that I did use with Easy Grammar, because my daughter was doing so well with it, is that I instituted homework passes. And the way I set that up is that for every 4 pages that she got 100% on and did absolutely perfect on the first try, then she would get a homework pass and she wouldn't have to do one of the other pages. I felt comfortable doing this because there's so much spiral and so much review in this Easy Grammar system that I knew she wasn't going to be missing anything if she would not do one of the pages. Well, it had amazing results because she really concentrated on those pages because she wanted the homework passes. What is funny about the whole situation, though, is that she enjoyed Easy Grammar so much that she didn't really use those homework passes. I think that she had 8 or 10 homework passes left over at the end of the day when we finished this that she could have used, and she chose not to because she was enjoying this system so much, which I think speaks volumes for how wonderful Easy Grammar was for our homeschool. So if you do have a student who thrives on that spiral in the grammar approach, then I think Easy Grammar would be awesome. Again, one of the things that I really credit is my daughter's foundation from Abeka going into this system. And it truly was Easy Grammar for her because she did have that awesome foundation that Abeka provided. But we loved Easy Grammar. If you're interested in something else that we loved, please check out this.